This is Blueprint Land Creation Podcast with your prophetic professor and lecturer. And today's episode, we'll be talking more about what we talked about in the previous episode. And that, talking about lighting and the problems I had with my cell phone. And now I'm using my Android. And as I said, they never told you about the lights. The lights is extremely hot. And then, another thing is important when recording. Now, what you see in here, the mistakes that I'm making because I have to record these things by myself. Sometimes I remember I have a light on the side. I got a softbox. The softbox means your face shouldn't sweat. And then I have an extra light in front of me because the light still that I purchased is for the money that it costs for me. It's good, right? But the light is not as bright. And then you need an air conditioned room because it's this, like I say, you sweat a lot. And so all of those things are very important. So lighting, and then of course something you may see my shadow in the back, because what? That meaning the light, there's a light in the back of me, that's supposed to be on, but the light in the back of me is supposed to be brighter than the lights in the front, so that way you will see the reflection. It's like the Bible said, the light shined in the darkness could not overpower it, but that light is supposed to be stronger than the lights at the front. Sometimes you may see the light coming from the top, not coming from on top, coming from the top, right? Sometimes, we all have those problems of saying the wrong words at the wrong time. But yes, so the lights will come from the top. Sometimes the lights come from at the bottom, but you would not be able to see that because it'll be out of the view of the camera lens. Of course, this what the big eye uses. When I say the big eye, the big guys, the bigger the YouTubers, they got all of the high-tech gas and so forth. But when we starting out small, we don't have those things, so we have to use what we have, right? And so this was, so it's important. So the lighting is important. The room temperature, like I said, if you don't have it, you will sweat a lot. And I see why they put all them powder on them places' face. I always wondered why, and I guess that's because that way you wouldn't sweat that much, or you wouldn't see the sweat, or see the glare of the light on your skin. But so these are things then that you have to go through. But no one ever tell you that. In order for me to know this, I have to sign up with one of the major guys. And once I sign up with them, then they will tell me that. Then of course I may have to spend thousands of dollars to learn that. Which if you can afford it, would be good. But if you can't, you got to go through scratch. And so as you get better at it. And until sometimes you see, when you're recording something, you see your eye, like for example, how I am here. The eye, you face it, because if the camera's at arm's length, even though some people say me not put my hand in the camera's way, but I'm just showing you an example. If the camera's close up to you, then you can see everything too close, and especially when everybody has those large television screens, you right up, you big and large and in charge, you're right in their face. So the main thing is you want to be back. And so something I've learned too, as you get better at it, or as I get better at it, I saw where I watch them, and they have the camera turned at the side, so you more see that at an angle. You must see my face at an angle. So if I'm looking at something, it's difficult for you to see my eye movements. So these are very important things or traits that you got to go through and to understand uploading. So it's very important. Then of course, sometimes you see places be reading. Well, sometimes when you're reading, like for example, when you look at the local news media, you normally see them looking straight, their eyes straight. They reading in the back, they got letters or big screen but showing the information for them to see. So then their eyes is focused straight towards it. But at the time there's a big screen in the back now. Sometimes I don't have it. Sometimes earlier in my recordings I had to do with other things. I had to put up other props in the back with my white papers with my words. Say for example, this here with words on it, I might have this put other places around, and then you see me looking and catching my eye. Some people like it because once the information is good, right? I look, and then sometimes you get lost, and sometimes if you're dealing with bullet points sometimes I get lost. So what I normally do, put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so that way I can remember I was on 1, I was on 2, and so forth. But if I just use bullet points, sometimes I get a little confused. And then sometimes again with recording, what happens is sometimes you talk, because since you're by yourself, you talk and then you lost track of where you walk. So all of that is important with it. So again, lighting plays a very important part. Recording all of this plays a very important part of it. The reading, Like I said, sometimes you see me moving my eyes up and down, because what? I'm looking at different papers. But once you now know your subject matter, if you know your subject matter, this is why it's important. Once you learn your subject matter, you could just go to solo. You straight. And so it reminds me of how I was in YouTube. Now every time again you may see me look down because I have a stopwatch in the front of me. So that is what I'm dealing with. So I would press that first before I press the video record button on the phone, because if I record the record button on the phone and then it'd be off. And when I finish, when I think it's 5 minutes or 6 minutes, 7 minutes, it's 8 minutes, or after it's 9 minutes, and then when I try to upload it to YouTube tell me it's too long, and they wouldn't accept it, because then there's another button that you have to press for you got long form contents. Now another thing is they don't say to you is now how long it take to upload. Now that's the thing it is. Now that take another time to upload. So all these features is on your phone. But I will give you more information step by step of what I learned, my stress. Like I said, my stress. Well, it was like stress. My struggles of recording up to YouTube, getting everything ordered. And say ordered, you know? Another thing, ordered. So everything structured. Now I can't, like the other guys, they got ready to cut and paste all of the. I can't do that. I have to do everything straight. So this is why it's important to learn it. If you learn it my way, when you get this is a training ground. Everything is a training ground. You don't know that's a training ground at the time, but it is a training ground, and it will perfect you. At the end of the day, it's like an athlete doing a lot of training, exercises, and so forth. Even though it's hard, it's even like it's like in military, a soldier, you have to go through hardship. Boy, but when you perfect that, man, you can move up the ranks. So all these things are important when you are recording. And these are some of the struggles that I made. And like I said, I will continue to go through various different segments of my struggle until I get to those episodes, what I uploaded. And then I will continue to let you know what I will do afterwards. So I'll always keep you abreast of what I'm doing. So I know this has been fun. Like, subscribe, and share. Write in the comments, man. Let me know. Let me know from you. Use my evaluators. Let me know what I'm doing right. Let me know what I'm doing wrong.